Danielle Calafato, CCO of Delulu Gaming. How lovely it is to be here with you, and thank you very much for inviting me to your event.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for having me for this interview.
Absolute pleasure. As soon as I found out that Delulu is going to be in London, I got on the first flight and I'm like, I need to get some insights to educate the industry. Who is Delulu? What are they doing? And from a commercial standpoint as well. So thank you very much for giving me your time. Danielle, I'm going to jump into the very first question. Now, this part of the interview is very commercially directed,
Okay.
right? So everything we're talking about is a commercial perspective, right? How is Delulu different than other providers entering the market today?
So I always try to zoom out and think of it from an operator perspective. How can we bring business value? Will this game provider be different than anyone else? At Delulu, we are different. We try to think a bit outside of the box. What we do in everything, our core values when building a game is about building the retention and bringing something to the market that the players are excited about. There are lots of games that they open and they just spin and they move on and move to another game. But we put a lot of love and effort, and we make sure that both design and both math are very involved. It's very much about retention, and we need to build that player engagement. So we're not only bringing the games to the market, which are obviously really, really important, but we make sure that the player feels that they have part of that journey. So just to give you an idea, they have RTP options, they have the options of volatility, they have lots of engagement and takes them to different gaming worlds. But also, apart from offering the games, we also are investing a lot in engagement tools, which is all very, very important.
Well, I mean, Delulu it's quite known for valuing retention over acquisition. Why is the whole retention thing so important to you?
So, at the end of the day, if players come for 1 or 2 sessions and they drop off, it's extremely expensive. And at the end of the day, it's very, very hard for that operator to build a sustainable business growth, right? So we very much believe in the retention aspect. We need to make sure that the players engage in our product. They feel that they are part of this journey and they retain. Now, if we feel that there is that constant engagement, those players are more likely to feel engaged, to stick around and come back in.
So Danielle, you've seen player increases on games, right, with about 20%. What does that actually mean in practical business terms for operators?
So 20% is actually just part of our story. This was achieved through closed player testing with diverse different player groups. But the most important thing that we got out of it is that the players stuck around. They didn't just spin and move on. They stayed on, they engaged with our games, they explored different worlds, they explored different volatility choices. So ultimately, we saw that the players engaged and they stayed on. This is extremely important for the operators, not just ourselves, because if they stuck around and they feel engaged, there's a very good chance that player comes back and the retention is built over time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Danielle, it seems like operators rely on promotions and bonuses quite a lot to keep players engaged. Now back to retention, how does Delulu actually approach retention differently then?
So everything we do, both from a math perspective and a design perspective, everything we do and the decisions we make is all about retention. So we make sure that the player feels that they are in control, and what they decide along the game and the choices they make gives them a different player journey, and it creates that retention, and hopefully they would return back for those games. Because at the end of the day, if a player does get a specific promotion, it's all well and good for that time.
Of course.
But once that promotion is over, are they going to come back because they enjoyed the game? That's what's really important. Is that game sticky enough that they're actually going to search for it again?
Thanks. Thank you. Let's jump on adaptation, right, of specific markets, because from what I've researched, you've spoken about adapting games to actual specific markets. So why is understanding local player behavior so important then?
Yeah, so obviously the operators are the experts here, not ourselves, but I think it's extremely important as a supplier to think the same way. Every single market, every single player group, every single generation can be very, very different. Even just culture alone makes a big difference. So it doesn't mean that one specific game in one market is going to work in the other. So this is why it's extremely important to do our market research. But apart from that, once we do launch the games with our different partners, we need to be able to speak to our operators, share ideas, discuss it. If there are things that we failed on, we can discuss them, improve on them, and we build that long-term relationships and always constantly improve.
Super. Danielle, many companies focus on getting the products in front of as many operators as possible, right? Delulu seems to be taking a more selective approach, which I love. Selecting is always good, right? Why is finding the right partners more important than simply expanding as quickly as possible?
So it could be really easy and I just go out and sign constant amount of deals. That's the reality. Signing the agreement, I would say, is the easy part. But the reality is what you said. We want to be selective. We want to make sure that the partnerships we have with different operators or even aggregators are partners that really understand what they're doing and have the growth mindset. We need to share data with each other, see how we can improve, and ultimately constantly grow together. That's extremely important. Now, we already have a number of partners that are willing to do that, but we're always on the lookout for the right mindset.
Super, super. When choosing partners, how important is the quality of the operator network compared to simply just reaching out to more markets?
Yeah, because like we said, quality over quantity, it's really important. There could be an operator where we just tick off another market and we're live in another market. But is that really going to gain value? A deal isn't a deal. It's about the long term.
Of course.
And we need to be constantly there. As a commercial team, it's very important for me to obviously bring the vision of the company to fruit. But at the end of the day, I need to make sure that my account management team is constantly in touch with those operators every single day, building those relationships. And not just a relationship. Like tonight is a perfect example. We have that FaceTime with them. When you're over calls or emails, it's limited, right? But when you're spending face-to-face time, you can really build that partnership mindset. And they also let out a few more secrets with a few drinks, right? So I think it's really important.
This was actually leading to my next question about what happens with the operator after the integration. Is it a bunch of these lovely events? What is it like?
Yeah, so actually, I think the really hard work starts after integration.
Right.
We need to be constantly there for our partners. And I think my core values are, it's not just about business. You need to be, I always tell my account management team, you need to be their friend. On a Friday night, when they close their laptop, if they're going to go out with someone for a beer or a glass of wine, you should be able to be one of those people, that they generally enjoy your company. And I think if you build that sort of relationship with your partners, everything will follow.
Absolutely. Danielle, what do you think about events, like such as Sigma, for instance? How do you feel it's relevant, and why do you feel that Delulu Gaming should actually be there?
I think it's extremely important. It's very much part of what we are going to be doing as Delulu. Today is a pure example. Tonight's our soft launch party. We've invited some operators, we've invited aggregators, we've invited partners from all over the world, media people like yourselves. It gives us the opportunity to tell them about Delulu and all our plans, which is super exciting. But at the end of the day, we're going to be at SBC Lisbon, we're going to be in Rome. And any big event that's popping up, we will be there. And it gives us that face-to-face interaction with our partners and ultimately grow those relationships.
Fantastic. My final question, and by the way, thank you very much. Just like I told Arthur, you have been fantastic. So really, really thank you. I know this is your day. You've got 1,000 things on your mind. So the fact that you sat down with me in a really comfortable scenario, and you've been lovely. Thank you so, so much. So I'll leave you with just one more question. Where do you see the Delulu Games in the next 12 months?
So we have very, very big ambitions plans, and we're not shy of them. We want to be top game provider, top 5 game provider, let me correct myself, in 2027. So we have very big ambitions. But for me as a commercial partner, it's all about building that partnership, which I keep mentioning over and over again. We need to deliver the products that people want to add to their lobbies. But it's not just about the product, it's also about the engagement tools we're investing in. So there's a lot of aspects. Obviously, in the next few months, we'll be entering new markets. We have a roadmap for the next 3 years. So you're going to hear about us a lot.
I have no doubt whatsoever that we are going to be catching up again. We're going to be celebrating your continued success, hopefully with another event like this. Thank you very much for inviting me to London, to this amazing event. And I'll be catching up with you very, very soon. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure.